Well, all right, all right, all right. This is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. So there is a lot going on. Penner, what's up? My man Hutanic is on as well. Wow. Rhodes, what's up? Sumanos, is that how you pronounce it? And I'm just going to say KK, or is it KL? K Dunstead. I think that's what it is. Holy smokes, 8th Street. So my friend Hutanic gets on, and he and I have conversations about Cardano like all the time, right? So tonight he chose violence. He drops some news or he lets me know about a couple of things. What's up, West? And he says, we'll get that Cardano logo up there sometime. You know, I've had the Cardano logo up here and you know it. But yeah, no, that was good news. We'll get to that a little bit later. Hello, everyone. Good day to you. I hope you enjoyed the news that we got today out of the United States. Paula Mortimer, how are you? Glad to see you here. We've got a lot, wow. We have a lot of people on Instagram. We have a lot of people on YouTube. And if you're not on YouTube, there's actually a poll on YouTube. And the poll is, what was the most important thing today? CPI or the FOMC decision? And 67% so far, 3 votes, say it was the FOMC decision. I'm not going to talk about it right now. We'll get to it a little bit later. Other than we got some pretty decent news. Basically, it was unchanged. So I told you guys that if the number went up, that's going to be bad for inflation. If the number goes down, that's going to be good for inflation. Obviously, that latter would be good for the markets. Well, it's kind of good for the markets. So markets kind of took a little bit of a bump up. I think that the news hasn't hit everyone yet. That's why you're not seeing a huge bump up, right? Still being held back a bit, but that's okay. That's all right. The reason why I think that's all right is because there is almost a ridiculous amount of pent-up energy. And I don't know if you were watching me a few months ago, but I was saying the same thing. There was a lot of pent-up energy. And then once that energy was released, we went from like 35 to a new all-time high. And right now, I'm feeling that there's a lot of pent-up energy. Dan, what's up, my dog? Don't forget to take the poll. Wow, is that E.E. Kennedy? I've been meaning to catch you. I'm glad you're on. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much for joining. Hello, Bianca. How are you? So obviously there's a lot of news. Top of the news is the CPI data and the FOMC decision. I told you a long time ago that the FOMC is not going to lower rates. That at best, we will get one decrease. At best. At best. E.E. Kennedy, thank you so much. There's one rule. There are a lot of people on Instagram that I do not know. I want to know where you're from. So drop me a note. Let me know where you're from. Because on the YouTube side, that whole crew, it's international. It is wildly international. What about all those short positions? That's their problem. Wah. I know that's mean. I'm sorry. I woke up this morning and I chose violence. Elix, what's up, my dog? So are they all liquidated already? No. I think I forgot what the number was, but it's a little bit higher than that. But there were some liquidations. Obviously, that always happens. I say higher rates to sell treasury bonds at a high rate while wrecking other fiats. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. I mean, think about this. The EU lowered rates. Canada lowered rates. Everybody was looking at the United States. Everybody was looking at the United States, which means that it hasn't really hit the rest of the world yet. They're not quite there with the decision yet. So am I expecting good news going forward? Well, what other macro events do we know of that can hurt things? Producer price index is not going to hurt anything. I don't care what it is. It's not going to hurt anything. At least I don't think so. Omaha, Nebraska. Wow. Originally from Riverside, California. Okay. Everybody, I'm going to stop the presses for a moment. I'm trying to focus in. K. Lundstedt, 85, is in Omaha, Nebraska from Riverside, California. I need to know how that happened. Like, I'm not even playing. I need to know how that happened. So I'm sitting here and I'm just looking at that. And I'm just saying, wow. Because I think you might be the first person from Omaha, Nebraska. I think you're the first person from Nebraska. I'll put it to you like that. But Sumanos from Paris, originally from India. Wow. Thank you for joining. That's Paris. Wow. All right. So for me, I'm sitting here and I'm just wondering, YouTube, let me know if you're okay, because I have an error message up, but my stream is fine. You see what I mean by all this stuff? Yes, I've made arrangements to get a new machine. My team is putting together everything that I need for the new machine, because I think what's going to wind up happening is I'm going to have a machine dedicated to just streaming, and I'll have my workhorse machine. My workhorse machine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monitors. So just saying. Thank you, Bianca. She was letting me know I'm good. So I don't think PPI is gonna damage anything. I don't care what that number is. I don't think it's gonna do anything. I think the word from Powell that we're gonna hold longer, it's gonna be 1 instead of 3. There should be no surprise. I've been saying it for months. There should be zero surprise. Like, when I say 0, I mean like 0. Right? So I'm sitting back and I'm just saying to myself, kind of on course. So what am I looking for? Right? What am I looking for? Being that I already had it factored in that, hey, there's going to be 1 decrease, if any, right? Versus the 3. Now I've identified the delta, right? Now I'm looking for opportunities. I'm fiending for opportunities. Those people that did not factor that in are going to get caught out there or have been caught out there. Just saying, because I've been telling you, you need consecutive months of information to make a decision. There haven't been consecutive months of information. There have been consecutive months of wildly variant information. This piece says that economy is is too hot. This piece says economy is too cold. Blah 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 blah. Not enough information to actually make a decision to drop the rates. Too soon. Jamie Dimon was right. And one of the reasons why I key in on that is because I don't know what Jamie Dimon has to say about crypto. I'm glad that his team takes their crypto information. They do what they need to do. Now, if you look at what he's saying about the markets, about things that are going on in general, he's not the CEO of JP Morgan because he's stupid, okay? He's a really smart guy. Something else that he's got that a lot of other people don't have is access to real-time information. So for Jamie Dimon, he's making decisions. He's saying, I believe this. I believe that. Listen to what he says. I. He's not saying my bank believes in this. He's saying, I think. You're asking me for my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. And I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, he was right. He was absolutely right. If you did not make those calculations that the economy was not going to give us any kind of information enough to make that decision, you screwed up. Now, if you look at the information that we have now, the economy has cooled a little bit. And he said so. Powell said so. It cooled a little bit. Not a lot. Not a ton. It cooled just enough. Just a little bit. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, okay, great. So that means that we have to have the next round of information to at least have two sets of information that tell us the same story. If you have that, then maybe in September he can drop the rates, because I don't think it's going to happen before September. I really don't think it's going to happen before September. You have all these senators, oh, you need to drop the rate. Wah, here's a letter. All of them need to sit down, take many a seat. They are not economists. They're not numbers people. They do not understand how it all works. They can only look at it from a political perspective. So am I going to trust what they have to say versus Powell? Hell nah. No. I'm glad Powell didn't listen to them and drop the rates. It's not the right time. Not even close. And everybody should have known that already. I've been saying it for months. They should have known that. Jared, what's going on, man? What's good? Jetpack, what's good? So when I look at it all, perfect timing. So how is the market reacting? I'm surprised that while Powell was talking, the market didn't dip a little bit more. He was so even keeled, the market barely moved. Barely moved down, barely moved up, barely. I am quite pleased by that. Quite pleased by that. One of the reasons why I'm pleased by that is because there brings some stability to that. You don't move that much, market's stable. That means the market is primed. To me, that means the market is primed. Peace, Jetpack. And the reason why that's important to me is because that tells me that there are at least a few more people out there that think the way I do, that were like, yeah, this is to be expected. I don't know why anybody's surprised. That's a big deal. On the crypto side, relief. Relief happened. And so because relief happened, you start to see the numbers go up. And now what are we doing? We're going from 69 to 70, and that's where we're bumping into a little bit of a wall. A little bit more good news. A little bit more action. Little bit. Not even a lot. Just a little bit to bust us through that $70,000 mark. That's the pain point. We get through that, there's going to be a lot of onward and upward. I think that if you really take a step back and you look at it, zoom out from the charts, get a wider view of the charts. We've been consolidated within a certain band, and it's not a big band. Think of that band from 65.5 to like 71, like 8, 71.8, right? That's not a big band. That's not a big band, like at all. Which means consolidation. There's going to be an explosion up or down. In our case, I think it's going to be up. We have way too much adoption, way too many new ideas, way too much development, way too much money going into further adoption, further development, more tools, more capabilities, more use cases. Now, I'm not normally one to harp on all the good stuff. You know, I bring you guys bad news too. But from a broad perspective, that's what I'm seeing. Anyway, let's get to the real news. We've got OKX users affected by their two-factor authentication problem. Supposedly everybody's been taken care of. Everybody's been made whole. And I have to tell you, that's what I expect from an exchange the size of OKX. That's what I expect. And they did not disappoint. No, they're not paying me. That's what I expect. I expected them to be able to turn around and go, we've got reserves and we can fix it. So they fix the problem and they use the reserves to make everybody whole. Boom. Now they've got to dig in and make sure that they've plugged those holes, that they've made everything correct. That's the big deal there. And I'm sure they will actually do that. I'm sure they're actually going to do that 100%. 100%. This is not, some kind of, exchange ranked like 1,212. That's not who they are. They're in the top 10 exchanges in the world. It's a no joke exchange. No joke exchange. So I expected that. So that's good news. The EU is having issues because they're saying that it's hard tracing cryptocurrency. Like when it bounces from one place to another. I don't understand how. Unless somebody's using a mixer. And if you're really slick, you go from mixer to mixer, right? You go to mixer, hit accounts, back to a mixer from all those accounts, and then out again. But the same way that I can think about doing something like that, it's just software. It's just software. You can easily do that. It's not hard. It's really not hard. I mean, for a person that knows what they're doing, it's not hard, right? You hit the mixer, you disperse to several different accounts. You come back into the mixer from each one of those accounts. You mix again, disperse it again. You could easily do that. But they're saying, well, it's hard tracing cryptocurrency. Without going through mixers, it's not hard tracing cryptocurrency. It's done every day. Chainalysis does it. Oh, what was that other company that I like so much? And I've been trying to think about their name all day, and I can't get their name out. I just can't. Watch. As soon as I'm done with the show, the name will hit me, and I'll be really pissed. Anyway, you have companies that pay attention to everything that's going on the blockchain like forever. These are the companies that come out and tell you, hey, this wallet that has been dormant for 5 years moved X amount of Bitcoin or X amount of whatever coin after being dormant for X amount of time. So what are they doing that they got notification like that? They're analyzing the blockchain. Just saying, there are companies out there that you could tell, that you could call. What else is there? Ripple is in bed with Axelar. And I'm sitting there and I'm just going, yeah, they're doing the whole development thing. And, they're doing the side chain thing with them. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But again, it smells like preparation and infrastructure for a stable coin. Not anything else, just a stable coin. You can launder with gold. Oh, yeah, dude, you can launder with so many different things. It's not even funny. You can launder with so many things that it's not even funny. I told you about how, some nefarious people had a freaking box truck with people and were going from bank to bank to bank, and they were able to launder $2.8 million in a single day. So yeah, you can launder with anything. You just have to have somebody on your team that's got the ideas on how to launder. Back in the day, it was have a laundromat, have a corner bodega, then use those to buy real estate, blah, 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 blah. There are lots of ways that you can figure things out, as they say. You really can. Really, really can. It's not difficult. It's not. I think it's just the EU's way of whining. Again, Lord. Then you have Solana talking about how Solana, because of their throughput, would be great for real world assets. Here's where they mess up. And I like Solana. I'm a fan of Solana. But here's where they overreach. Yes, technically your throughput is ridiculous. They got some serious throughput. But they have a level of unreliability that causes the problem. Other blockchains might be slow, but they're going to get the job done. They're seriously going to get the job done, right? And they're going to be dependable. Chainlink, XLM, Polygon, you could just continue rattling them off. XRP, if they were so inclined, they're not. They're so focused on stablecoin, and I'm just sitting here going, Ripple, what are you doing? Ripple, just what are you doing? I'm beginning to realize in my own tiny little pea brain, it was never about XRP. It was always about XRP Ledger. And I think they recognize the amount of money that Tether can make having a stable coin. And they're thinking, we can do it better because we're faster than everybody else. There are things that we can do that nobody else can do. That's what I'm seeing. Hutanik says, basically, Solana can run great until she blows her rod. That's that's basically it. I mean, what was it, a month ago? They had a network, not an outage, they said. It wasn't an outage. But I'm sitting back and I'm going, nobody could do anything. That to me is called an outage. I'm just saying. So I pay attention to that, but they're running around talking about how they can do real world assets, and they have a company that they're working with that, they were doing it. And I'm just like, yeah, not at the level of some of these other companies. You might be able to do some RWA work, real world assets, RWA. You might be able to do that with, smaller companies, but institutional level, they should probably leave that to the big boys. I don't have that level of trust in their network to be able to handle, that kind of work. Because those companies can't afford for an outage like that. That was hours and hours of an outage. They can't afford that. They need deals to happen like this. If the deals can't happen at that kind of speed, then what's the point of moving from wherever they are now? That's really going to be the argument. And that's going to be the problem. So what else is going on? You've got Circle expanding Web3 services onto Solana, but that Circle kind of makes sense. Trying to build that development community over there. Hutanik has another good point. It happens so much on the Solana network that they could do it on purpose for any reason. Wind blew south instead of blowing west. Yeah, that could do it. Could do it. E.E. Kennedy, are you still on? Just wondering, are you still online? I'm dying to know, where you're from, what do you do? Thank you for the compliment again. Suminos, I didn't answer the question. The question was, what about all those short positions? Oh, no, I did answer that one. He was asking about the short positions that were between 68 and 70. So I did get to that. So that Circle move is interesting. And I'm sitting here and I'm just saying to myself, so what happens going forward? What are the bad things that I still see? And I touched on it yesterday. I was telling you guys that I think the commercial real estate space is going to have a problem. I really do think that the commercial real estate space is going to have a problem. There was somebody on CNBC today, and he was saying, listen, commercial real estate in all the big cities, problems. There's a lot of vacancy. There are just issues, and that's a problem waiting to happen. And again, you take that, you couple it with over half a trillion dollars of unrealized losses within the banking systems. Now you've got commercial real estate and banking. They go hand in hand in that particular case. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a major, major, major problem. So how does that work? How do we fix that problem? Those are questions that I don't have answers to. I have ideas, but I don't have answers. You know what I mean? So on top of that, you have Bitcoin miners. Earlier, I think mid last week, I started talking about it. You have miners that are on the chopping block. You have miners that if you tossed the right amount of money, you could lose them. They could get bought by an AI company, a hyperscaler. They could get bought. As my son says, they can get got. Yeah, he was not pleased. He came home from the gym tonight, or earlier this afternoon. And he goes, Dad, I got. I was like, what are you talking about? What happened? I got a ticket. $20 for not feeding the meter. But you have, you have a lot of miners out there that are dumping Bitcoin because they need the money, right? That's one. And because they need the money, they're doing the dump Bitcoin thing. They're still in business. They're completely viable, so don't worry about that. But they need the cash. Okay, cool. That just means that there's a company out there that you're susceptible to, that if they come around with the right number, you'll scratch and sniff. You might just do it. That's not small. So pay attention to that. Riot Platforms, on the other hand, bought 13%. What is it, a Bitfarms or whatever? Whoever it is they're trying to take over, they bought 13%, so that way they can't actually enact the poison pill that they came up with. In other words, the hostile takeover bid that Riot Platforms is doing, I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to come around with enough money that they'll be able to say, you're a miner, we're a miner, we want to buy you so that we can get big, so that we can stay in business, because these other guys are looking to buy us. Nobody said it yet, but like I said, they can get got. They can get got in a major fashion. So we do pay attention to that. Alden Benavides, sorry I didn't say hello. What's up? So I am paying attention to those things. I really am paying attention to those things. And they're not. The implications that we're looking at are pretty sized. Just dropping a note over on Instagram. They're so quiet over there. They're really quiet, almost too quiet. So I'm looking at all these things, and I'm just sitting back and I'm saying to myself, there are a lot of opportunities. If you're paying attention, there are a lot of opportunities. I'd be looking at, I'm going slow again, and I shouldn't be. And it corrects. It's weird. It goes slow. It goes fine, rather. Goes slow a little bit, and then corrects. It's weird. That's definitely not my machine. I can definitely say that's not my machine. I did a whole bunch of stuff to make sure it's not my machine. That's not my machine. Whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll get better as we keep growing up, get more audience. I start throwing a little bit more income at this, and we'll start doing it. And income, I mean, my regular company, income from that and throwing it at this. But yeah, I'm just looking at all the dots that are starting to connect. They're starting to make these almost ridiculously vivid pictures. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's not traffic control on the WAN port. I have no collisions, nothing. Nothing. It's the software. I thought it was the machine. I mean, the machine can be beefed up. I mean, it's 4 years old. It can be beefed up. It's all right. It's us. No, stop it, Bianca. You're not funny. It's not you, it's me. She goes, it's not you, it's us. You're funny. You know what? I'm going to blame Bianca, because Bianca still owes me and Elix drinks. Just saying. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. Maybe she'll come to New York, buy us some drinks. Kaylin said, just listening, trying to learn. Little late to the game, though. You're not late to the game. I promise you're not late to the game. If you're trying to learn, here's a shameless advertisement. Go buy my book. You'll learn a lot. I promise. My book will help you set up that foundation. You'll learn a lot. I absolutely promise. Yeah, that's right, Elix. She owes us a drink, and she needs to come to New York, buy us drinks. Just saying. That's what needs to happen. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get the whole community big enough where we could actually have a get-together. That would be freaking awesome. That would be awesome. I would actually try to pick a nice spot, some kind of place. It would be in the United States. Sorry for my European folks. But it would be somewhere. Dan says, buy the book. Thank you, Dan. It's called Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth. Yes, it is available on Amazon. But yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, we grow the community, we learn together. So you might think that you came to the party late and you don't know a lot. This is how we learn. Do you know how many times Mr. Shook, Hutanic, just Punanimous Me, just so many people out there have shared information that I did not know. I've been in this game for over 10 years and I still don't know everything. Don't know everything. Right? So yeah, no, we're here to learn from each other. I'm trying to create a space where we're not afraid to ask questions. Really and true. That's really the kind of space that I want. Right? That's why we built the social media platform. It's growmybag.tv, so that you could actually log in. You can leave a note on the feed. You can follow people. They can follow you. You can DM people. That's what we're talking about. Do we need to grow? Do we need to, add more polish? You can always add polish. Think about, the look and feel that Facebook has now versus what they had when they first started. So many changes in between. And I suspect that we'll do the same thing. We got to grow. We got to mature. That's just the way it is. And we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But we're starting. We had to put the stake in the ground now. Right? But I'm looking at all these dots and I'm just sitting here and I'm saying to myself, what are the bad things? I'm trying to make an inventory of all of the bad things that I think can happen. Commercial real estate in the United States. Extended wars overseas, sanctions. What else is there? A problem in the banking industry. A problem in the United States banking industry is a problem in the banking industry on a global scale. Even if it's just a regional bank. Think about the ripple effects that would happen, because that's when everybody starts looking at everything. When you look at regional banks, I need you to keep something in the back of your head. Small businesses are the backbone of the United States. Small businesses bank at regional banks in a lot of cases. And there's your problem. It's not bad to bank at a regional bank, not at all. That's not the issue. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when a regional bank has a problem, they're going to affect a lot of small businesses. If the small businesses are the backbone of the United States, there's your problem. This is why I pay attention to everything. This is why I tell people, no, I don't keep all my money in a bank. I'm not going to earn money on it, right? Or I'm not going to earn enough. So no, I don't keep all my money in a bank, period. I don't bank a lot. I've made a determination as to what services I actually need from a bank. Right now, it's still easier to get a loan from a bank than it is, doing DeFi. The rates are better in a lot of cases, so that's what I do, right? That's what I would tell businesses to do if I was consulting them, which is what I do for a living. That said, I have different avenues where I place my money, where I can get to it quickly enough, where I can make investments. That's the idea. That's the plan. So if you're looking for, somebody asked me, I'm not going to name any names, but you know who you are, sir. Somebody asked me, where do you keep your dry powder? I keep my dry powder where I need to keep it as dry powder for that business and several places personally. There are places where I can put my hands on cold hard cash. There are places where I can put my hands on digital cash. And there are places, and that goes across all my entities that I handle. And the idea is that you never know when something pops up. You could have an emergency, need to grab cash, right? What was it? 2000, there was that whole 2001, there was that blackout in New York. Needed cash. And I mean physical cash. Not, I can boop it to you. No, cash, real cash. Because everybody was out of power. That's why I tell people, keep some cash, walk around, even you don't need a lot of money. Walk around with 10, 20 bucks in your pocket. Leave that in that little slot inside your wallet or purse. Leave that there. Need some more emergency money and you don't, power's fine and all that good stuff. Have some in crypto. Have a little bit of cash in the bank. Have it in different places. Just like, when you go to an old lady's house, old folks' house, and they've got money in the book, money in this book, money underneath the dresser, money over here, money over there. There's a reason why they did that. So that they would always have a place to go to find cash. We're just thinking on a bigger scale. But looking at the news right now, I'm trying to make an inventory of all the bad things that can happen and create an inventory of all the good things that can happen and weigh them against each other so I can continue looking forward across 2024, the rest of 2024 and across 2025. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm working on. I keep all my change for a decade. Yeah, I have a change jar upstairs. I mean, I don't keep all of it. It becomes big after a minute. But nobody's going to steal it because it becomes heavy as, a jar, just this big is heavy as hell. So you're not going to steal it. That's tough. I knew somebody once, they kept all their change in a wheelbarrow. You're not moving that. I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm decently strong. I'm not moving that. It would take some work. I'd be busting a sweat. So yeah, you want to have places where you can get your hands on some cash. You want to have places where you can get your money on some digital assets. Why? Because what happens if you leave the country, you're on vacation, you're in another country, you need to get your hands on some cash. You can deposit, make a change from digital asset to fiat and give yourself some money. Only in an emergency, but that's something that you'd be able to do. There's the idea. West, I've got like 2K in boxes of nickels. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I probably flipped the quarters or at least $50 or something. I'm just saying. That's a lot. That weighs a lot. Dan, I have not spent change in 15. Lord have mercy. God bless. I haven't spent change in 15 years. Because you just come home, you hand somebody another bill, another piece of paper, and you pay for it, and you come home, and you have your change, just throw it in there. And it's not like you go in there digging, right? I mean, back in the day you did. You dig out for quarters so you can pay the meters. That was about it. West, a nickel is the cheapest way to stack copper and nickel metal. Wow. Sweet. That's hat tip to you. That's brilliant. Yeah. Smart. I should be changing pennies to nickels, or not pennies. I should be changing dimes and quarters to nickels. But yeah, that's actually really smart. But anyway, you look at the market right now. Market is, piping up a little bit. Let me just go see what the numbers are right now. Bitcoin is at 68,110. Ethereum's at 35.52. Solana's at 154. Wow, that's a 25% move if Solana goes up to 200 again. Toncoin is just ripping and roaring at $7.54. What else do you have? Shiba Inu is dropped to 22.11. That's not great. That's not great at all, but it's still up from a low. They're up like 3.32% over the past 24 hours. So things are starting to wake up and come back. Chainlink was in the 15s. Now it's at 16.01. Not mad about that. So yeah, I would tell you, go look around and see what's going on in the space. Go see what you can do. Dimes, quarters, and $50 are okay though. As far as money is, yeah. But yeah, go pay attention to what your digital assets are. Dig in on your digital assets. What you're interested in, what you think the use cases are, that kind of stuff. But I think the news right now, I think tomorrow is going to be a better day. I really do think tomorrow is going to be a better day. I think the weekend is going to be even better. I think we'll start marching toward better as we continue going forward. I'm hoping that I'm wrong with the commercial real estate space. I'm hoping that they wake up and they sooner or later they go, you know what, we can convert at least part of this building to being, homes for people and keep the other part as retail. I mean, as commercial. Okay, maybe that'll work. We'll see what happens. But that's what I'm looking about. That's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, I've kept you guys for a while. It's been like almost 40 minutes. I don't see a lot of questions flying around. Dylan, here's everybody on Instagram. These lives are actually saved over on YouTube. So if you didn't catch the whole thing and you want to see what was going on, what the conversation was, hop over there and you'll see what it was. Same thing, Grow My Bag, and you'll find us. $100 on commercial, $100 on Colossian. Yeah. Keep going. I can't, man. I'm tired. It's been a long day. You forget I actually have to work. I'm up to do the research for the morning show. I'm up at like 4 and I'm already thinking about what's going on. I'm thinking about what was discussed the day before and I'm starting to look at the news going forward. I am done with my research by about 5:30. I'm in the shower. I come downstairs, I prep, and you guys know I usually start recording at like 7 or so, and then you start seeing, the videos by like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So that's a lot of time that I'm already up before people are even thinking about being up. And then at night, you can see what time it is. This is where I'm at. Dan, you didn't know I do a morning show? It's just not live. It's pre-recorded. It's just not live. But yeah, there's a morning show. And I try to get it out, like posted before 8 a.m. That's when I try to do it. I'm usually trying to record by 7, which means I'm usually done by 7:30. I'm going through and I'm, looking at it and everything, putting my notes on, and then dropping that on about, 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere between then. I really try to get it posted up, the long video. I do 2 videos. One is the Crypto Minute, and the other one is the longer show. And then I promote that across all the social media platforms so people know to come, see what's out there. So that's the schedule. So by this time, if you think about it, I'm up for like 12, 16 hours. So yeah, I'm a little tired. I get a little tired by this time. But we'll be on tomorrow. We'll be on tomorrow morning. I'm expecting better news. I'm expecting things to actually start hitting in a positive fashion tomorrow. I'm expecting better news from a couple of resources. I'm expecting the market to go up because now everything is eased with regard to Powell, with regard to the CPI data, the PPI data. As I said, the producer price index, I don't think that's going to have a major effect on anybody. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm honestly looking at. Everybody, have a great night. I hope you like what I do. Drop me a note if you do. Oh, wait, let's get to the numbers. The poll, I'm going to end the poll now. We only got 6 votes. All these people online and only got 6 votes. I'm really upset by that. That hurts my feelings. We had 83% of the people say that it was the FOMC, decision that came out that was the most important. For me, being that it was a foregone conclusion, I did not think that at all. I thought the CPI data was most important because it came out first, right? Number one. If it was bad, it was going to be bad all the way through. It was good. So that was the front runner for everything. So I thought the CPI data was best. Anyway, I hope you guys like what you see. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to hit those likes. And if you haven't bought the book, buy the book. All right. And I need you guys to do me a little bit of a favor. I know I haven't put them out there yet. I need you to keep pestering me for the classes, right? The book supports the classes that I've already created. I just haven't put them out there because I literally have to sit down there and record them because everybody says I need to use my voice to record everything. So I just haven't done it yet. I've been lazy. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Enjoy. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Have a good one. Bye-bye.